We're live. Are you ready? So, what's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Today's gonna be a little movie review, and me and Mike, we watched a movie last night. Classic movie, classic animation. What would you say it was? Like an hour and 22 minutes or some shit? So, today we're gonna be talking about and reviewing Batman SubZero from 1997. First, let me pull out the Batmobile. Alright, now we're Gucci. We'll just put it here, I guess. Got Mr. Freeze with me, I got the car with me. Or should I get the Batwing? Bat Rocket. Here you go, we'll get that. We'll put that behind Freeze. There you go. Alright, so first off, let's talk about the fact that, well, let's talk about this movie first, because there's other shit later in the video that we might talk about if we have time. There's been a lot of DC shit going on. There's been a lot of financial studios getting bought shit going on, a lot of uncertainty for DC and whatnot and everything like that, and we might get into that later if we have time. Mainly we're here to review an animated movie from like 20 plus years ago, but we'll talk about WB getting bought and Netflix outbidding pretty much Universal and Paramount, and then we'll talk about Scarlett Johansson potentially being in the Robert Pattinson Batman 2, playing a female love interest slash villain or some shit. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But let's start off with the movie review. So me and Mike watched Batman SubZero last night. It's an animated Batman, the animated series movie from 1997. This was the last animation style where they went with the original show design, where Batman had this costume, Batman had this look. You know, the Gotham was like, this is before they did the New Adventures and they brought the show back for a final season and they changed the art design. I gotta be honest with you, this was probably, for me, this was top 3 Batman animated movies of all time. Probably number 3 favorite, next to so if I had to rank my top 3 Batman animated movies of all time, it would be number 1 would be Mask of the Phantasm, because that one's, you know, peak. I think every Batman fan will agree with me on that. Every animated series fan would agree with me on that. Then if I had to have a number 2, it would probably be Return of the Joker, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Because that one is just, I mean, damn. It's another one that, like, you cannot top. Like, I mean, that's just, there are a lot of Batman animated films. You know, you got the fucking ones that are based off of the graphic novels, you got the ones that are based off of animated universes and whatnot. You've got, you know, you have all different kinds. You've got the Batman vs. Robin one, you got the fucking Son of Batman one. Am I missing a Batman Year One? Those are all like, they're like meh, you know what I mean? They're not fucking great. You want great Batman animated films, you want great Batman animated stuff, you just watch the Batman animated series movies. That's all you gotta do. Just watch those movies. Pretty much better than half the shit DC releases now anyways. The animation's better back then than it is now. The animation now looks like crap. Like, if you look at the animation for the Killing Joke animated movie compared to the animation that was in this fucking movie that we watched, pff, night and day. Complete difference. But yeah, this is definitely top 3 for me. Batman SubZero is definitely top 3, and it would be number 3. And then Return of the Joker would be number 2, and then Mask of the Phantasm would be number 1. And those are my top 3 Batman animated series movies of all time. Batman animated anything of all time. And then the show is on a whole nother level. The show is one of my favorite superhero shows of all time, if not my favorite superhero show of all time. You've got that. You've got the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. You know, stuff like that. Superman and Justice League I watched, but it did not have the impact on me that the original Batman animated series had, because the original Batman animated series was right off the tail end of Batman Returns and the Keaton stuff. So that's when Spielberg created that whole animation division at WB, when he was gonna do, like, remember when Spielberg in the 90s, when he came up with he did like the thing at WB where he was like Animaniacs, and he wanted them to create cartoons reminiscent of that of Looney Tunes and shit from the old days that he grew up watching. So that's what they did. They did, like, you know, Warner Brothers focused on new interpretations of characters that they owned. So they would do, like, stuff like this. They had, like, a whole new writing team, art team. And, you know, I talk about Paul Dini many of times. The animated series would not be what it is had Paul Dini not worked on it. You know, Bruce Timm, he just draws the characters. That's it. He just does the art design, and his art design has kind of gone down the toilet in recent years. Batman Caped Crusader, which was supposed to be an animated series spin-off or prequel or whatever. It was going to be like a darker version of it, or reboot. I don't know. I don't even know if that's even going to get a season 2 because of how bad the animation was. People didn't really care for the story. People didn't care for the characters. People didn't really give a shit about it at all, to be honest. And I thought it was, like, worse than the original show. Like, the original show is like, you're never gonna top it. So it's like, why even bother trying to, you know, it just makes no sense. Excuse me. But yeah, this got me. You know, this cartoon is one of my favorite superhero shows of all time, if not, you know, I said that The Simpsons was my favorite cartoon. What I meant by that was, when I said The Simpsons is my favorite cartoon, I meant by my favorite adult animation. Simpsons is my favorite out of the Family Guys, Bob's Burgers, King of the Hill, American Dad. The Simpsons is my favorite adult-oriented animation. But it's not my favorite, like, cartoon of all time. You know, I don't even think, you know, I don't know. I don't know if even Batman, the animated series, is my favorite cartoon. I have so many favorite cartoons, but they're not the ones that, you know, millennials grew up with and shit like that. Like, you had millennials grow up with, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, fucking Transformers, what else? Just, you know, stuff from the 80s and shit. And I was talking to Mom and Dad the other day. I was talking to them last night, and it turns out that they didn't grow up with any of that shit in the 80s. Like, by the time Ninja Turtles came out, by the time Transformers was out, G.I. Joe, all that stuff, all those toy-etic cartoons where they were making cartoons basically to sell toys, my parents were already teenagers. They were already, like, into different shit. The cartoons that my parents grew up with were basically the classic Warner Brothers and Hanna-Barbera, and basically the stuff that was Cartoon Network before Cartoon Network became popular. You know, before it was Boomerang and Cartoon Network and all that, you know, they had like one channel where it was like cartoons like Looney Tunes and stuff like that. That's what my parents grew up with, was, you know, Looney Tunes, fucking Flintstones, Jetsons, Rocky and Bullwinkle, Yogi Bear, basically, you know, fucking Space Ghost and Dino Boy, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Basically stuff like that. They grew up with like the original Hanna-Barbera animation, Huckleberry Hound, stuff like that, and the original Super Friends, which was kind of like their Justice League cartoon growing up, where it was like it had the Wonder Twins and like all that shit. So, but they said to me, they were like, by the time the 80s rolled around, we had fell off in terms of cartoons. We weren't watching cartoons anymore. We were watching shit like Happy Days and reruns from shows from the 70s. But during the 70s, when they were little kids, because my parents were born in 1970, they watched all the cartoons from the 60s and before that. So, and they were like, yo, Disney, they were saying like Disney didn't have any animation back then. There was no fucking, Disney hadn't even done the animated movies like Lion King, Aladdin, stuff like that. Back then, the only thing Disney had done was like fucking Steamboat Willie, where like Mickey Mouse was still black and white, and that was it. Like, it was basically just the Mickey Mouse character, Goofy, Pluto, Donald Duck. Though that was it. It was basically the hand-drawn cartoons. They grew up with the original Walt Disney before he had passed away and shit like that. Before it was like, before Disney had become like so fucking, now it's just like so like far from what it was that it's not even funny. It's not even about cartoons and, you know, theme parks and shit anymore. Now it's just like, let's buy up franchises, let's buy up as much IP as possible, let's just shell out a bunch of shit content on Disney Plus, let's just, you know, create stories that push like agendas about sexual orientation and gender equality and all this other bullshit that, like, nobody doesn't really, at the end of the day, people don't give a shit about that. You know what I mean? It's back in the day when Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse were a thing. Nobody was saying, why is there a girl mouse? Why is there, I don't get it. Like, it was what it was. Like, cartoon people drew characters. Like, why is Goofy look like a giant talking dog? Nobody fucking cared. You know what I mean? Is Goofy gay? You know, where they weren't asking that back then. It was just, these are cartoon characters. These are cartoons. I'm a cartoon character. Ah. So, what was that? People weren't asking those questions. People weren't asking that type of shit back then. Cartoons were just cartoons. People just drew to draw. And what I saw with that, with like, when you look at the original Batman the Animated Series compared to like shit drawn now, it was very like, very classy. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened to Bruce Timm. I don't know if like Wile E. Coyote dropped the fucking 9-ton something on his head or something. I have no idea, but like the dude's animation has completely changed. Because like in this movie and shit, you're like, damn, this movie gets like Barbara's like hot as shit in this movie. Like, she's sexy as fuck. Like Barbara Gordon, like Batgirl, she's drawn almost like them, like, you know, like you know what I mean, like one of them type of like this show. And that's how the original animated series was like, it was very like, because Gotham in that show was like a mixture of different eras. Like, you had like modern technology, like he's got the Bat computer on like the fucking, in the Batmobile. So like, you have technology, he has technology. He's got all these like fancy ass gadgets, the Batwing, the Batmobile, he's got like Bat computers, he's got all this shit. But then you had like there was like a vintage radio in this movie. There was a you know, there was a lot of old school music from like the 40s, 50s, and 60s and shit in this movie. There was a lot of like, there was a party where they were all, you know, dressed up and everybody's like fucking suited up and like, you know, it was like very like classy, like that 40s, 50s style where like back then all they used to do was, you know, they used to get fucking like dressed to a T pretty much. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. So, but mainly I grew up with the era of, and I was watching a video of this the other day, I grew up with the era of Cartoon Network where it was before they started doing all that stupid shit like Regular Show, Adventure Time. The Cartoon Network era that I grew up with was like the late 90s, early 2000s. Around the time where it was like started to become like this huge thing where it was like we got new cartoons coming out, and then we have like Boomerang, which was all the Flintstones, Jetsons, where I got to watch all the shit my parents got to watch as kids. So they had like all the reruns of all the old stuff, and you had like the cartoons with Looney Tunes and all this other stuff, and so I got to grow up with a lot of the cartoons that my parents did. I got to watch a lot of the reruns of all the old shit that my parents did. Originally get to watch when they were kids. And then Cartoon Network had like its new stuff. It had like Ed, Edd and Eddy. It had Powerpuff Girls. It had Johnny Bravo. It had the fuck else? Dexter's Laboratory. It had. Then it got to a point where they started doing reruns of like all the cartoons that were on WB Kids, Fox Kids, pretty much all of DC's catalog. And that's when I started watching like Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond, Justice League, stuff like that. But I think I fell off around 2008 was when I stopped watching Cartoon Network, like really, really a lot. After that, I'd be like, I'd turn on the channel, I'd be like, what's on here? And then it would be like something stupid like Adventure Time or some shit, and I'd just fucking turn it off. That era, like, once it got to, like, 2009, 2010, that's when I just fucking fell off. When it became, like, Adventure Time, Regular Show, the cartoons where it looked like they put no fucking effort into the animation at all. Like, it just looked like shit compared to Codename Kids Next Door. Fucking, you know, all the older shit, like... Because you have to understand, is like, when you look at people who worked on Johnny Bravo, you gotta understand, people like Seth MacFarlane worked on Johnny Bravo. This was before Family Guy. This was before he would go on to do his own thing. There were, like, guys that worked on these old school cartoons. Gendy Tartakovsky worked on Dexter's Laboratory, Johnny Bravo, Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack. You know, these were big fucking names. Well, now they are, but like back then, this is before they were huge. This was before they were big. You know, before Family Guy, American Dad, Cleveland Show, and all that shit. Seth was working on fucking Johnny Bravo and all those other cartoons. He was working for Hanna-Barbera's division before they were eventually consumed by Cartoon Network, and WB as a whole went on to fuse into Cartoon Network. And then once you get to like the late 2000s, like once you start to get near the like 2010s era, that's when it gets bad. Because being born in 1999, I had the luxury of growing up with the shit that was on in the late 90s and the early 2000s, which was that sweet spot of like, this is when it was good. That's when like Cartoon Network started to blow up, and like it was just cartoons all fucking day. And then at some point, you know, it went from like Cartoon Network during the day, and then Toonami at night. And then after that, at some point it fell off, and then they started getting into Adult Swim territory at night. But, yeah, no, I mean, that's when that era was like, that's the era I grew up in, was like when it was cartoons all day. and you come home from school, right? Some of it was even before I went to school, like when I was a little kid. When people would fucking babysit me, like my grandparents, and you gotta understand, I grew up with like having like my grandpa babysit me, and I talk about like all these superheroes and shit that I learned. I got all that shit from him, like the love for Batman and everything like that. Is like his generation was around when Looney Tunes was created. So like he was born in 1937 or something. Yeah, I think so. He was born in 1937, so he was pretty in tune with all that cartoon stuff, Looney Tunes, Flintstones, stuff like that, because he was a kid when well, not a kid, but like, yeah, okay. When did Looney Tunes come out? You gotta be awake, because if I'm expecting this package, you know. Yeah, Looney Tunes came out in 1930, bro. So, by that point, my grandfather, that was obviously before my grandfather, but my grandfather was 1937, he was born, so, yeah, he watched Looney Tunes growing up, I mean. So, and then as he got older in the 60s, 40s, 50s, 60s, well, he would have been like 30s. He would have been in his 30s in the 60s, so, but he still would have, but that's when, like, our uncles were born. That's when, like, Dad was born in 1970, but our uncles were born in, like, 65 and 69 or some shit, or 68. But, those are the cartoons that my parents grew up with, and so my grandparents watched that shit too, obviously, because, you know, that's what their kids were watching, so. But yeah, I remember watching all this stuff with Grandpa. I remember watching Samurai Jack with him. I remember watching Batman Beyond with him, and that was interesting as fuck, because it was like a whole new generation for Batman. You had like a younger Batman with like the older original Batman, and it's funny because Batman was created when he was a kid. Like, Batman was like 1939, and he grew up with the original Batman, like when it was like the first appearance, the purple gloves. You know, Batman was created when he was a kid, so, yeah, for him, he saw Batman. He's an old man watching me, and now Batman's an old man with a younger Batman, so that was interesting in that sense. But yeah, he watched that. Yeah, we watched everything pretty much. And then when you were, I think this is when you were little, and maybe before that. This was probably before that, but you might not have been born yet. This is before you and Corey were even born. This was like this is before the fucking fight cage matches where you were in the little octagon thing beating the shit out of each other, and I was spectating like a fucking WWE announcer and shit. This is way before then, obviously, but Cartoon Network was still a thing when you were born. Like 2005, it was still, that was when it was actually peak. That's when it started to pop off. And then, like I said, once you get to like fucking 2009, 2010, when it was like, Adventure Time, I wasn't tuning in and shit. Like, I was checked out. Like, cartoons were just fucking ass. The animation was ass. The problem solvers, my uncle, grandpa, or whatever the fuck that shit was. The cartoon shit, like, by that point, all these guys who had worked at Hanna-Barbera and all these guys who worked for, like, you know, like Seth MacFarlane and shit like that, they all fucking went on to do Family Guy and all those other adult animations, so they moved on pretty much in that sense. But you really do see you really do see the shift in animation between modern animation now and fucking, yo, what's up? Talking about, yeah, me and Mike are doing, we're doing Batman SubZero movie review because we watched it last night. I'd seen it once, one time, and that was a long time ago, and I just remember like bits and pieces of it. And that was another thing too. I don't remember, like, I thought Batgirl was gonna be in this movie longer. Nah, she was in it for like 2 seconds, and then the rest of the movie she's just kidnapped as Barbara Gordon. But yeah, she's like fucking, she was savage in that movie. She was just fucking hot mess, bro. She was just trying to fucking beat the shit out of everybody. Like, yo, they're like trying to fucking like sedate her ass and put her to sleep. She's like, get the fuck off me. She was just fucking all over the place. But yeah, I saw it like once, and I had no fucking recollection of it at all. I was just like, it's a Mr. Freeze movie. That's all I remember. So going into it, I was like, we'll see what it's like. We'll see if it's even as good as it. I remember it somewhat, even though I don't remember it, if it even holds up. So it was like 97 it came out, and that was like the last one where they did the animation for the original show, where it looked like the Batman you see on the screen here. The classic BTAS, before they changed the design. But yeah, the animation is fucking peak. I mean, and then you had like that 3D animation where they tried to do like 3D. That was like, they got like movie budget, so they're like, we're gonna do 3D Batwing. And you got like fucking 3D Robin sitting in the Batwing. I was like, what the fuck? 3D Alfred just standing there. That was fucking hilarious. Oh man. Yeah, and I was saying earlier that this has got to be, after watching it last night, it was actually better than I actually remembered. And it's definitely top 3 Batman animated movies of all time. Not just animated series, not just that universe, but definitely top 3 animated, period. Because like I was talking about earlier before you got here, like, all the Batman animated movies now, all the animation now, it's all just shit. Like, it's all fucking crap. The animation's worse now than it was during the fucking old school Warner Brothers day, where they actually fucking put money into animation. Like, they actually drew the shit instead of doing it on a computer. Bless you. Catching a cold? It's a cold day in hell, Batman. Are you sneezing? Maybe you should take a Zyrtec. Dude, peak fucking villain. He's top 5 villains, I'm sorry. He's top 5. But yeah, it's definitely top 3 Batman animated movies. It would be number 3. And then number 2 would be Return of the Joker, Batman Beyond. That's just fucking, that was like, watching that as a kid was fucking crazy. Seeing the Joker get shot. In the uncut version, bleeding, there was actually blood. That was the first Batman animated movie where they had fucking blood, with cartoon where they actually went dark, turned Tim into a fucking psycho mini Joker. Traumatized the fuck out of me. Or then you get the censored version, which is really not that censored either, where he fucking slips and falls and turns on an electrical thing and then fries himself. Mystery of Batwoman, that's where it starts. They start to get into that woke shit where they're like, we got 3 different women trying to be the same Batwoman, and it's kind of, I'd have to go back and watch that, but I remember that one being a little fucking kind of sus. That one, whereas like the original 3 that were on VHS, like, those were peak, those were S tier. But Batwoman, I don't know, I might have to go back and watch that one. And I had the recollection going into this, I thought this was a fucking Christmas movie. Like, I thought they were going to a Christmas party and shit. There was nothing of that in this movie. Like, I was like, I thought this was a Christmas movie. Nope. Nope. Just like in winter in Gotham, that's it. Yeah, facts. Yeah. Yeah, Kathy Duquesne. Yeah. Yeah, the animation, that's something that, even if like the plot and like the characters and like the overall like what the fuck's going on, even though that starts to drop off in the later movies, the animation, like we were talking about that earlier too, is like between the original show and the animated movies is like they always, that fucking universe that is pretty much doesn't exist anymore because it's non-profitable. Kevin's gone, Mark's fucking retired, and he's a has-been, literally turned into the fucking Joker, and he's locked in the asylum in a straitjacket, and fucking Batman's dead. But, you know, that fucking universe was like in that like 40s, 50s, like dames were dames, broads were broads, you know what I'm saying? Like, girls were fucking classy. They were drawn in a way like they had curvature figures. They had like the hips, the nice legs. Mike even talks about it all the time. He's like, bro, stop lifting. You're gonna look like a fucking Batman character pretty soon. Because like all the men in the show are all top heavy. They're all like built like fucking brick shit houses. You know what I mean? They guys skip leg day. They all got like the fucking giant broad shoulders and shit. But like that's how it was, bro. That's how it was in the 50s. That's how it was in the 60s. Does it, like, people were dressed to the nines. People were dressed with class. Like, you know what I'm saying? Women didn't have fucking sleeve tats, fucking piercings everywhere, bro. They didn't look like they were going to a bull riding competition, bro. You know what I'm saying? Facts. That's how it was. That's how it was. They had the cigarette on the thing. Like Penguin, bro. They had the fucking molecules and shit. The tone for that series nailed fucking Gotham, bro. Of like that time of like, come wet my whistle, sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, definitely top 3 movies of all time. I said number 2 is Return of the Joker, and yeah, number 1's Phantasm. I mean, that's, you can't fucking top that. To the point where they're even talking about now, they're saying that Scarlett Johansson may play Andrea Belmont in the next Batman Part 2, which we'll see if Matt Reeves has the balls to do that or not, because I highly doubt he does. But if they do that character, it's gonna be totally different than what it was in the movie. It's not gonna be like, you know, I highly doubt they're gonna give her like the Spooky Man costume where she looks like the fucking, you know, Grim Reaper essentially. But we'll see. I highly doubt we'll get this costume right here. I highly doubt it. We'll probably get like a fucking has-been crackhead fucking Phantasm or something, where she's like a crack addict or something. So. Nah, but yeah, I think Mr. Freeze... What? You heard something? Let me check. Nah, it was a school bus. It was a school bus. It says between 10 and 12, so that's when I can... And I'm sure they'll ring the doorbell for the package, so... Because I have to sign for it. Then I'm just gonna leave it here and it's FedEx. Like, you don't sign for it, they just fucking dip and they'll say, okay, we give you one more chance after this. We're throwing your package in a landfill, so... But, yeah, they don't play, dude. If they're not fucking throwing it through your window... Yeah, FedEx is fucking ridiculous, bro. They're coldless, heartless bastards like Mr. Freeze. But yeah, he's definitely top 5 villains of all time. Yeah, Year One, that's, like I said, I was talking about earlier, like a lot of those ones, that's where you start to get in, like, the animation starts to fall down, and they're just adapting graphic novels that, the graphic novels are 10 times better. Like, you could go read the graphic novels, and they're 10 times better. Yeah, facts. Yeah, yeah, Glock 18, yeah. No, it's actually it's something for the house, part or some shit. Something they needed. But, what was I talking? Oh, yeah, year one. Yeah, year one, it's okay. I mean, it's alright. It's one of the better ones when you get towards the later animation movies. There's not many of the later ones that I really watch. I kind of fell off after, like, no, after actually Mystery of Batwoman. I have Mystery of Batwoman, the DVD over there. But, like I said, I don't remember it being S tier like the other three, but, a lot of the later shit I kind of just didn't even... Like the Dark Knight Returns adaptation, I never watched that because I wasn't really a fan of Frank Miller. Really a fan of that, but I saw that they did an Watchmen adaptation where it was supposed to be like the comic, but it's 3D animation, and I don't know how I feel about 3D animation. It's not like an actual 2D animation. It's like that it kind of looks like a video game. Like the Telltale video games animation, that's kind of what it looks like. But I don't know, I haven't watched that. I heard it's like 2 parts, split into 2 parts. The only thing I've seen, aside from the live-action Watchmen adaptation for the movie, is the motion comic that they ended up doing at some point. I believe it was the, I think that's what it was. It was just like a motion comic. It was like they adapted the graphic novel and they made it like an actual moving comic. But I saw that. And that's pretty much, that's just them going through the whole graphic novel. That's just page to screen. So that's pretty much a faithful adaptation. But I don't know about the new 3D one. I haven't seen that. Yeah, that one's fucking S tier. It's God tier. Yeah, I don't know about fucking the other, like, I don't know about all the other Batman stuff. I haven't really watched any of that, like the Killing Joke and all that. I just know that the animation's dog shit, like, turned me off completely. But yeah, no, Mr. Freeze definitely has to be top 5 Batman villains of all time. I mean, this guy is fucking... There's parts in this movie where, like, you think he's an anti-hero, but he's not. Nah, he is a fucking relatable villain. When you going into this is right off the cusp of this show. And I got the sense that this took place after the first 3 seasons. Because he retires from being Mr. Freeze and goes away for a while, I guess. Like, I guess he's like, I guess you could say he's redeemed. And like, he's rehabilitated or whatever. Like, he was one of the ones that Batman was able to, like, actually get back to normal. But then, when he finds out that Nora's got, like, a specific type of blood type, and she has to have an organ transplant. She needs a specific organ, but she needs a specific donor, but the donor needs to be alive and not dead, and da-da-da, and he's gonna find Dr. Gregory, whatever the hell his name is. I don't remember what the hell the last name for the guy's name was, but Dr. Gregory something. He's gotta kidnap a specific doctor. That's when he's like, comes back to being Mr. Freeze, where he... Like the opening where he's in the is it the Antarctica? I couldn't tell if it was like North Pole, South Pole. There's polar bears. I guess it's Antarctica, but there's like a submarine, and they like crash into this place that he's hanging out with Eskimos, and like his wife's in like this encapsulation thing, and he's working on her and shit. He like built like a lab. And like the submarine crashes into his lab and like literally breaks open the thing, so he gets pissed and fucking kills the whole crew. Like he freezes everybody and kills them. And then he just gets back into that, okay, now I'm gonna just be Mr. Freeze again and just fucking do my thing. But yeah, dude, the voice actor who played the original Freeze, holy fucking shit, dude. I mean, aside from the Arkham games, I don't think there's been like a better Freeze, to be honest. I really don't. Like just that like voice where it's like, today is going to be your last day that you feel the warmth of the sun. That's just fucking, I mean, his voice is just fucking, and that's the thing that that show had too, was it had voice talent up the ass, bro. Like Ra's al Ghul is the one guy from Ninja Turtles, like the scientist guy. Fucking John Glover was the Riddler. I mean, just fucking peak voice casting for this, not just the show, but like the movies too. Top tier, man.
But Mr. Freeze never was in
This, yeah, that's the thing too, is that this movie, even though it's animated, this reminded me of like if Tim Burton made like Batman and Robin. Like if it wasn't Joel Schumacher who made Batman and Robin and Tim Burton made it instead, this is kind of what it would be like. It wouldn't be all Iceman puns and shit. What'd you think of Robin in this movie, though? I didn't think he was gonna have a big part either. I'm like, I don't think Robin's gonna be in it. He was fucking goated, bro. There's a part where he's just going after Freeze, chasing him down, doing stunt fucking jumps. He's doing like Evel Knievel jumps with a motorcycle and shit.
He's not even Robin.
Yeah, he's not even Robin and he's doing shit. Fucking breaks his ribs, hits the tree, crashes the motorcycle. Motorcycle goes into the water. It's about to fucking fall off a cliff. A lot of the voice cast returns, except I think it's a different chick who does the voice of Batgirl, but Gordon's the same voice actor. Bullock's voiced by an Italian, by the way. So that's a win for us guineas. That's a win. Bullock's voiced by an Italian, but it's the same guy where he's like, "Hey, Kamish, get your fucking facts crossed," or whatever the fuck he says. But yeah, it's pretty good voice cast returning. But yeah, no, he's very depicted as like this villain that definitely relatable, and there's moments that he has redeeming qualities, and by the end of the movie you're like, damn, so is that it for Freeze? Not really, because timeline wise he does come back. So at the end of this movie they actually do something weird where they cure his wife. Not only is she taken out of cryo stasis, but she's also given the organ transplant, blood transfusion. She's basically given the whole auto body shop reworks. And he finds out about it and he's like, oh, well, that's good. And then he just dips. Because at the end of this, like, they rescue Nora from the facility. It takes place on like an oil rig at the end. Well, the final battle does. First it's on a fucking boat. And then it's on a, like, first he's in the Antarctic, then he goes to Gotham, kidnaps the doctor guy, tries to kidnap Barbara. Well, he does kidnap Barbara. Then they're on a boat. Then they go on an oil rig. Then the oil rig starts to blow up. So then Batman and Robin show up, rescue Barbara, rescue the little Asian kid. I don't know why that little Asian kid was there for some reason. That just fucking, I was like, what the fuck is Short Round doing in this movie? I was like, what the fuck? And they rescue Nora, Barbara, and the little Asian kid. And then he goes back for Freeze. And he says, if I'm not back in time, leave it without me, or whatever. And, like, he doesn't make it, I guess. I guess, like he doesn't save Freeze in time like he tries to. And that's the thing, too. That's another thing where I'm like, yo, fuck Zack Snyder, bro. because like he's like Batman has to kill, like Batman can kill. Bro, he goes out of his way to save Freeze in this shit. And then when Freeze falls, he's like, Freeze, no! Like he gets pissed and shit. And then he funds fucking his wife's thing, like her whole operation. It's even said on the news that he funded the whole thing, like he funded the whole thing, like the surgery, the medication, everything, bro. Like you can't say that, like, yo, you can't say Batman's like this cruel-hearted piece of shit bastard, like he goes around beating the shit out of people, killing people, bro. He fucking rehabilitates people. He invests in people. He sees the good in people. He does shit for people. So, this shit where he's like, oh, he has to kill and all this other bullshit. Fuck you. Fuck you. He's selfless, bro. He almost died trying to save Freeze's ass in this movie, so fuck Zack Snyder, bro.
We're not playing Man of Steel,
Fuck that. Fucking dude needs to actually read instead of fucking, you know, flipping through one page of a fucking graphic novel and okay, I'm good. But yeah, Clayface, man, his villain and the fucking him in that show. That's the thing too, is like this show had that fucking, a lot of the versions we get of the characters now are because of that show. Like a lot of them redid those characters to the point where they were actually good. Before this, Freeze was like fucking ass. Like, he was the, like, if you saw him in the 66 show where he didn't have anything on his head and he just looked like a fucking bald dude painted blue, you'd be like, yo, what the fuck? Like, Freeze before this was a joke! Bro, he was ass! Clayface before this, bro, he was dog shit! This show is what made a lot of those characters what they are today. Scarecrow, Mad Hatter, Joker. A lot of them were just fucking kind of dog shit before this cartoon, like before the animated series. It's just, and that's mainly because of Paul Dini. You can thank the Guinea for that, but hey, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, if he ain't writing it, it ain't working, bro. You know, shit's not sticking to the walls, man. People just keep throwing shit at walls to see if it sticks. Just get fucking Paul Dini to write the fucking live action shit. I don't see what the problem is here. What are we doing? Guy's still alive? Guy still works for DC somewhat? When he's not locked in a broom closet? So, I don't get it. But, yeah. Yeah, Clayface was another one that they redid him, and he was... His was fucking crazy, like his episode where he's the actor Basil. No, he's not Basil Carr. No, the original show was, they changed it. There was actually two Clayfaces in this universe. The original one was actually yeah, I'll get to Croc in a minute. But the original Clayface was Matthew Hagen. And then like something with Rupert Thorne, like Rupert Thorne's gang like does something to him, or no, somebody else. No, it was a different mobster, not Rupert Thorne. Rupert Thorne was the one who had a hand in creating Two-Face in this universe, where like Rupert Thorne was like a mob boss that he didn't like Dent and shit, and then he was the reason for, they kidnapped Dent, and then Dent gets half his face blown off. That's how he became Two-Face in this universe. And then Clayface was one where they literally fucking drown his ass in some kind of toxic, like shit, like sludge or some shit, and then he gets morphed into this thing where, like, now he's like a monster, but he can shapeshift and shit. Dude, I have to go back and rewatch the whole show, because, like, pretty much every episode in this show, every villain in this show is done so fucking well. Yeah, it was kind of like Sandman, but I don't know. I think he's better than Sandman, to be honest, but whatever. And that's why I'm kind of curious to see if this fucking live-action horror Clayface movie, what the fuck that is. Because if you're not doing body horror where, like, his face is sagging and he's like, oh, no! And he's, like, turning into clay and shit. And then he's, like, that big monster. Like, if it isn't a Universal monster movie, then what the fuck we doing? Like, why are we doing a live-action solo Clayface?
Can you hear any music?
You know what I mean? I mean, I'd like to see it, but, like, how is he going to carry his own movie like that? How are you going to make a whole movie off that? And I have a feeling it's going to be just like the other shit. It's going to be just like that Joaquin Phoenix Joker shit. Where they're like, we're coming out with a solo Joker movie, and then it turns out to be like a fucking totally different thing than what the actual character is. Where they're like, how are you going to make that relatable? He's a psychopath. Dude's literally a fucking loony. But there you go. You got him dancing on Brooklyn stairs and shit like that, and now he's relatable. He's an incel. Joker's an incel. He's misunderstood. So I guess they'll do the same thing to Clayface. Clayface will be like an ex-porn star, OnlyFans model or something. And, you know, I don't know. And then he has to... And then, no, that's what it'll be. It'll be like a modern take where he goes to get so much plastic surgery that he just starts to look like a Lion Man. And his face starts to... Like Mickey Rourke. Pretty much like Mickey Rourke. He'll fucking do like all this shit to his fucking face to where he just doesn't look like a man anymore. But yo, Killer Croc, though. Yo, Killer Croc was hilarious in that show, bro. The episode, they're all sitting around the table playing cards, and they're like telling stories about, I did this to Batman, I did this, and then Croc's just like, I threw a rock at him. It was a big rock. And then it turns out it was Batman disguised as Croc the whole fucking time. Peak. Fucking...
But he was like white.
I kind of, yeah, but I liked his original design where he had like the white. And then they did like the big ass green one in the New Adventures, but that one was kind of fucking weird.
But his face was different. They should have kept.
I don't like, I gotta be honest, I don't like many of the redesigns for the New Adventures. To be honest, there's not many of them that are that great. Even Bane's original design was good, and then they went and kind of... Riddler, what the fuck happened to him, dude? Like, he's wearing like a jumpsuit and he's bald? What the fuck? The fuck? I like the fucking jacket where he's wearing like the green jacket with the question marks on it, where it just looks like a suit. I don't need that other shit. I don't need the Jim Carrey spandex shit.
The only ones they did right was Batman.
Yeah.
Nightwing.
Yeah, like Nightwing's costume and shit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, the New Adventures is kind of... The redesigns for a lot of them are kind of ass. Joker's redesigns dog shit. He doesn't even have pupils. Yeah. Zsasz. Yeah, Mr. Zsasz. Yeah. I don't think he was in the animated series, though, to be honest. I don't remember. I don't think so. I remember Man-Bat being in it. Man-Bat's in it. Ra's al Ghul's in it. Bane's in it. Clayface. Croc. Yeah, I like the original Croc design where he's gray and shit. That's how he was in Arkham Origins, too. Go back and play Arkham Origins, that's what he looks like. No, in the Asylum City and Night, he's green. But in Origins, he's the gray one from the animated series, because he actually looks like animated series Croc. Yeah, Arkham Origins is a fucking fantastic game. Like, even the Mr. Freeze DLC in that, holy shit. Yeah, Polka Dot Man solo, yeah. Yeah, he was in SS Squad, the James Gunn one. Yeah, he was alright in that. But yeah, I'd like to see them do a live action version of that. Solo, that'd be hilarious. Just going around putting fucking dots on people. Yeah, Clock King live action solo. Just a dude that does shit with clocks. Condiment King. Just the guy that plays with condiments. I got mayonnaise. Zodiac killer, dude. Yeah, Zodiac man. Yeah, Calendar Man. Oh my god. Yo, Calendar Man needs to be done in like the fucking Pattinson ones already. That's a character that, like, it's perfect character for like a all year round holiday killer. Like, I mean, he's every holiday. They even suspect him to be the killer in the Long Halloween because the Long Halloween doesn't just take place on Halloween. There's a holiday killer killing on each holiday, so you'll get one. It starts on Halloween, and then it goes, there's a murder on Thanksgiving, a murder on Christmas, on New Year's, on Valentine's Day, on, you know, and it's just, and then, like, he goes to Arkham and he suspects it's Calendar Man, and Calendar Man's like, no, I'm sorry, but it's not my work. And I'm not gonna spoil who that killer is, but, yeah. It's pretty crazy.
So, why don't they do Long Halloween during,
And they did do a Long Halloween animated movie. I own it. That was one of the ones I actually bought. The animation, not as good as the actual fucking comic. Like the comic, like Tim Sale, Jeff Loeb, yeah, they fucking nailed it. But yeah, that animated movie did not go for the style of Tim Sale's animation at all. They kind of just did whatever the fuck they were doing. I don't know what the hell they were doing. DC just budget cuts, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, gonna be even more budget cuts now that Netflix owns. Now that Netflix won and outbid everybody, but we'll see if that goes and becomes an actual thing. But yeah. I don't, to be honest though, I don't think that's gonna go through. I think in order for that to go through, they have to go through Congress and shit, because when another corporation buys another company and like consumes a whole new entity, they have to go through, like, there's a business thing involved. Yeah. I don't know if you saw that, but there's a lot of talk about that going around, like, yo, what's gonna happen? Are there gonna be any more? I like how not everybody's coming together, too. This is hilarious. It takes two corporations. It takes Warner Brothers getting bought for the right and the left to finally come together. Not fucking world hunger, not, you know, people starving in Africa, not fucking famine, disease. It takes fucking Netflix buying WB for the liberals and the conservatives. Now everybody's like, okay, let's hold hand and make peace and kumbaya, because if we don't, everybody's out of a job now. Now everybody's fucking scared. Now all the Hollywood actors, no, they cannot consume Warner Brothers. It can't happen. This is atrocious. It's against our human rights and freedom. And fucking... Funny how that is. But I think it's fitting. I really do. I think it's fitting. By the way, fucking Batman Beyond... fucking not Batman Beyond. Batman SubZero was S tier. That was a fucking 12 out of 10. That's my final review on that. Yeah. Own it, watch it. You know what I'm saying. But anyways, but back to what I was saying. But, I think it's funny that it takes something like this to happen, and now the guy that they talk shit about and that they hate his guts and they can't stand him, and they're on social media 24/7 bitching and whining and moaning about my president, Donald Trump. Yeah, well, guess who? Now you're gonna have to suck his cock if you want somewhat of a war going on between Paramount, Universal, and Netflix, because I think it's funny how now they're going to have to go through his administration to see if they can get Netflix to not buy it. That's hilarious. Ain't that funny, though? It's fitting. It's poetic. It's just like it was like meant to happen, but I think it's fucking phenomenal. I think it's hilarious. You spend all this time fucking bitching. Mark Hamill's bitching and whining. Well, hey Mark, you want a job at WB? Ain't gonna be with Netflix, so you might wanna start kissing Trump's ass. Might wanna start switching governments, buddy. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, yeah. But hey, whatever. Oh man, it's tremendous. Tremendous. I don't really, to be honest, I don't fucking care what happens to it, to be honest. I mean, I wanted Universal to buy it because I wanted theme park shit. That's all I cared about. I don't give a shit about, like, the people are like, you don't understand. If Netflix buys it, we don't get any more Arkham games. I don't know if you've been paying attention the last 10 years. When was the last Arkham game? 2015? That was 10 years ago? What have they done with the IP since? Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing. Like, they bought WWE, look what happened to that. Yeah, they have a whole bunch of fucking WW stuff on there. Wrestling stuff's on there.
And it's all those.
All the documentaries, like the McMahon documentary and shit. So, bro, like, people are like, fucking like, but you don't understand what this means for gaming. We're not gonna get any more DC games. Have we? Like, Gotham Knights was good. Fucking SS Squad Kills the Justice League was good. What were they? Like, people are actually, like, worried. Like, oh, they bought fucking NetherRealm out. Ooh, who cares? Mortal Kombat's been shit. Like, people actually give a shit. Like, now you give a shit? Bro, they haven't cared for the last fucking 20-something years. Now you care?
I just thought of that last night, too. I'm like, WB owns Nether. That means Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of shit they own. They own Harry Potter, HBO. They're like, oh no, they're gonna get HBO. Maybe they won't reboot Harry Potter now and make Snape black. I don't know. Look, I don't care for it in the sense that, like, I have a feeling they're gonna do like Disney did with Lucasfilm. Yeah, facts. I never even fucking... Yeah, I don't even know who's in that game. Like, MK1, who the fuck's even in it?
I don't even know.
Like, I don't even know what...
Just played a classic.
I don't even know who did... I don't even know what character passes are in it anymore. They're all fucking guest characters anyway. So it's like, who the fuck cares?
It's not even an MK game anymore.
But,
Just play the 2D games out.
what was I talking about? I don't remember what the fuck I was talking about. I was on something on tangent. I was on some kind of a tangent about something. No, I don't remember.
Oh, Lucas, something about Lucas.
No, it's the same shit with Lucasfilm, where Disney bought Lucasfilm and they did completely nothing with the IP, but just shelve out shit content. It'll be the same thing. You'll get the same thing. They go, oh, we bought up DC, and then you get a bunch of shit DC content. You're not gonna get a good live action Batman. You get Netflix budget Batman, which is not that great. Or if you're lucky, you'll get Zack Snyder's shit again. So, and that's if you're lucky.
And nobody wants that.
And nobody really wants that. And like I said in the past, yeah, that's when I fell off. MK9 is... I was actually on the PS3 the other day just to play that, but... Yeah, I don't know. I was never a fan of, like, I can't sit here and say, oh, I'm a James Gunn guy. I'm backing James Gunn. I don't really give a shit anymore about anybody who anybody who's in charge of it, owns it, does anything with it, because a lot of these people, they don't. At the end of the day, none of them fucking care. Doesn't matter who the fuck's in charge, who owns it, who buys it, who does the... It's like these things are just things that you're, like, a fan of, and then like you'll get like this big ass suit come along and go, I think I'm gonna buy that and do something with that, and then they just hop from fucking place to place, and I don't know.
But you haven't even watched Superman by James.
I don't care to be honest either. It kind of looks dumb. It looks like fucking shit. Looks like fan filmy. I don't I don't know anymore what to do in terms of like, just stop caring. Like, I got the back catalog of all the old shit that was created when I was a kid. That I like this movie that we watched. We went back and watched it, and I was like, "What the fuck happened to animation?" And that was that, and I was like, "That was fantastic. Too bad I'll never see that again." But it's like, that's how you gotta go about it. Like, the good shit was it's there. Oh, that's another thing too. People are bitching like, "Oh, no more physical media." Like, you're not. If they buy it, shit's just gonna go straight to streaming. Like, if it's on Netflix, what's the? But really though, are you buying the new Batman DVDs? Are you buying Superman by James Gunn DVD? Nobody's buying that shit. Nobody's buying the DVDs of this new shit. It's all ass.
That's why I don't even know why I bought the Minions, like Jurassic World Minions. Bought the DVD.
I can see like if it's like re-releases of like, you know, upscaled versions of older shit. Like if it's the Keaton movies, get like a fucking 20K re-release where you see Keaton's nose hairs and shit. Okay.
140p.
You know what I mean? But but like, is anybody buying the new shit? No.
1080p.
Nobody's buying these new DVDs and shit. I love how people actually act like they give a shit about this, like it bothers them. That's the thing that's blowing my mind. Fuck. Hilarious.
What bothers other wolves?
Yeah, I mean, like, are you gonna buy it? Like, no? Oh, shit. I didn't even buy the fucking Batman Robert Pattinson movie. We saw it on, what, HBO Max? That's the thing, is like, everything's streaming now anyways. People are bitching there's gonna be no more movie theaters. Who the fuck wants to go to a movie theater, like, and pay, like, what, how much are tickets? Like $12, $15 for one person? Who the fuck wants to pay that, dude? Yeah, facts. And that's not even fucking WB. The new SpongeBob movie. That's Nickelodeon, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't even, who the fuck owns Nickelodeon? Universal? Not anymore. No, Paramount. Holy shit! Oh my god! Dude, if Paramount bought fucking WB, you could have had the fucking Ninja Turtles fucking Batman crossover live action. Fucking, my god! Then you could have had all the fucking cartoons under one roof, bro. You'd have had the classic fucking WB shit with the fucking Nickelodeon shit. You know how peak that'd be? That'd be like cartoon heaven. Nah, I kind of want... That's the thing, too, is like they're saying, like, this... Okay, they outbidded. That doesn't necessarily mean they won the fucking... They just put a certain amount that they're like, okay, this is what we're putting. That doesn't really mean... Yeah, yeah. That doesn't really mean that, the thing is final. There's a lot that this has to go through. This has to go through Congress. This has to go through, like, they have to pass a thing for this, because back in the, whatever the fuck, early 1900s, 1920s, when Hollywood started, it was originally because of the government. It had something to do with the government. The government was like, you need to be able to put out quality content for American people. And if you're not able to do that, well then guess what? Your studio goes bye-bye. So, I mean, That's great. Netflix buys it or whatever, that, or they own it or some shit. If they're not putting out quality content or some shit, it don't matter.
Universal could buy it up. They're like,
But that's with anybody who buys it. That would be what the case with Paramount or Universal. They buy it. You need to start getting your shit, your chickens, your ducks in a row, and you need to start putting out quality content and not equality. We need quality, not equality. You know what I'm saying? No more of this stupid bullshit with these studios where they're like, let's do this. Let's do a story about Batgirl, but guess what? She's black. She's a boss bitch. And she talks down to Batman. Bro, you want people to invest in your product.
why do you think Disney hurt?
Exactly. Exactly. Why do you think Disney's fucking stocks have plummeted? Because they're not, none of their shit's investable anymore. Nobody's buying their Star Wars products. Nobody's buying their toys. Their fucking toys just sit on the fucking shelf at the store.
Nobody cares about Baby Yoda.
That's facts. Nobody cares about Grogu. Nobody cares about the 50 million fucking Funko Pops of Grogu sucking on his thumb.
Yo, but Funko's going out of business. Nobody buys it.
Yeah, because people realize the gimmick. It's the same fucking thing, just repainted. It's the same black beady eyes. It's just a different paint job. Look at the fucking Jurassic ones. It's the same fucking mold. The Velociraptor is the same as the fucking T-Rex Funko Pop. They're the same fucking mold. Same mold.
Just one smaller one.
One's a little bit smaller than the other. But everybody caught on, bro. Oh, man.
And blue is just a repaint.
Yeah, that's it. It's just a paint job.
Like a car.
Yeah. That's like, hey, you notice the difference between a Nissan Sentra and a Toyota Corolla? There's not many differences. But, I don't know, bro. I don't know. But there's a lot of shit that Netflix is going to have to go through if they even want to acquire this. And this is going to be a year thing. It'll probably go in all the way to next year. It'll be... I honestly don't think a decision will be made until 2027, to be honest. Because it takes a whole year for something like this to even happen. In order for Netflix to even acquire it, there's a lot of political bullshit they have to go through, because this is literally like a business acquiring another business, literally like sucking up another entity, corporation. So I mean, I don't know.
I hope Star Wars.
Because they have, and that's the thing too, they have to look at it from like all the different marketing standpoints and everything like that. How's it going to affect the economy? Does Netflix even do toys? You know what I mean?
No.
Like, do they? Are you even gonna release toys that are gonna make money, so that kids are gonna get into it? They're gonna buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like these these are the things that these companies, they don't take into factor. Like, okay, we need high quality, good product.
We need toys with a Robert Pattinson back.
That was George's whole thing back in the 70s and 80s, was like when he was creating the original trilogy, is he made sure,
Gotta have cars.
well, not just that, he made sure that he had the rights to all the merchandising and shit. Like, I'm going to make the profit, not the studio. So whatever sequel I want to make, whatever movie I want to make, I can fund because I made it with all the merchandising and shit like that. Same thing with and it all comes full circle, because this whole deal going on, this is the whole reason of the Batmania thing in the late 80s, early 90s when 89 came out, was that whole movie it did so much fucking money because of the marketing and the merchandising and like just the bat shit everywhere up the ass. Like the bat cereal, the fucking, you know, that's what it was. So you don't see much of that anymore. You don't really see marketing for shit anymore. Movies and shit like that. Not like you used to. Like the tie-ins, the fucking... the McDonald's shit. That was like the whole... Bro, that was the whole fucking thing with... with Batman Returns. I feel like something stuck in my nose. But that was the whole thing when Batman Returns was like, they did like the marketing with McDonald's. And the movie was so fucking dark that kids felt like it was a fucking attack on them. That WB had to reassess shit and go, yo, Tim, hey, you want to get the fuck out of here? Because, like, we need Joel Schumacher in here. And then that whole fucking shit is why we got the Dark Knight trilogy. Because they were like, Joel, what are we doing here, bro? We told you to make Batman toyetic. It's a little too toyetic, man. Now nobody takes us seriously anymore. That's when we got Batman Begins. It's been this...
We got dark and serious.
It's the same shit, just another decade. We've all done it throughout history before. It's the same crap. It's just...
We got dark and serious. And now we never can get...
It's like every few years they get this like, oh, here's what we gotta do. And then they lose fucking... they lose it. They get their head out of their ass for like 2 seconds and then they're like, Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know.
Yo, the Superman movie that's so cool.
Nah, and that's the thing too, is the Superman movie did not make the amount of money it should have made. Do I think it should have made a shitload of money? Should it have made $1 billion? Probably not. It definitely didn't, but the problem is it didn't bring in the money they thought it would bring. See, they're expecting Avengers Endgame style bucks. They're expecting like that shit that Marvel produced, what was it, 5, 6, 7 years ago? Back in like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, but that was just like a CGI.
That was the thing though, is everybody was dick riding that on the hype train. That was the big hype train trend. You had people going to see Marvel movies that weren't even fucking Marvel fans.
Oh, like you said that one time.
Like, we went to school with people like that, where they just were like, the popular kids, and they're like, yo, Avengers Endgame! Ah! It's like, bro, you don't even know who the fuck half the people are in the movie, bro. My boy Iron Man and shit! Even know what the fuck Iron Man is?
Black Panther.
Yeah, I mean, like, Tony can vouch for that. He knows what I'm talking about.
Black Panther, man.
He knows who I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking about.
Black Panther.
Yeah, Black Panther, man. Bro, Black Panther used to wear a cape. You know that? Nah, fuck that shit, man. Oh, shit.
Yo, Hulk, man.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I knew Hulk when he looked like this.
Yep.
Nah. Damn.
Yeah, that's cute too. Mark Ruffalo on fucking X. Oh, well, Netflix buys Warner Brothers. Shut the fuck up, bro. You work for Disney's fucking woke ass. Shut up. The fuck you worried about, bro? You work at Marvel, not DC.
Why don't you make Hulk like you?
Bro's so dumb he don't even know which fucking company he works for. Fucking retard.
Why don't you go back to... Why don't you go back to making Hulk the way he should be? Nah.
Oh, man. Yeah, but it's funny that people actually think like games are gonna fucking like take a hit. Like, cause games have just been great for the like, I don't even know if this new Lego Batman's coming out now, and it probably won't, to be honest. And I actually saw gameplay of it last night. I watched like that hour demo thing of it, and I was not impressed. Aside from it looking like Lego Arkham, which is cool, where you can glide and grapple and shit like that. It looks very like, I don't know, it looks kind of like just like the skin-based system I don't like. I don't like the fucking, I don't know, I don't like the way the open world looks. Even though it kind of looks like this one, but I mean, it's, I want to get my Batwing, bro. I want to get my Batwing. I don't know, the open world doesn't look that much different from this game, but whoops. Yeah, I don't know. Gaming's not gonna take a hit because a lot of the fucking Rocksteady and everything like that, they're already dead. The people who worked at it when they were doing the Arkham games, they don't work for it anymore, so I don't understand why people are so fucking like bent out of shape and they act like NetherRealm is in trouble and shit. Who cares? I don't care if Ed Boon can't create Mortal Kombat anymore. Fuck do I care? Guy's out of touch. Charging $50 for a classic collection of a couple games. Fucking, you know, break, dude. That collection should be like 25, 30 max.
A little bit more than the 1, 2, or 3. Other than that, they didn't really do much.
I mean, $50. So what? You charge $50 for that. What are they charging for if they redo the PS2 ones and they redo MK9? 60, full price. So that's the thing too, is who's gonna pay $70 to $80 for a Lego Batman game? Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, bro. It's just, I just don't see it the way everybody else is seeing it, where they're like, we're in trouble. It's like, yeah, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. I mean, if Netflix does end up owning it, then that just means I won't see any of this shit anymore. Like, I will not see a... Yeah, I think it does. Does it have MK4 on it? Yeah, it's in the collection, so, I mean, I guess they can justify that $10 price, but they figure it has MK Trilogy, the other 3, 4, yeah, that justifies the extra $10.
But literally all the other games are just like SNES, Game Boy, ports. It's like you gave us the arcade version, which is like the best version. Why do we need these downgrades?
Well, Trilogy in its own self, you don't really even need the other 3. Trilogy's fucking... I mean, that's S tier, so, like, you could have just released Trilogy and we would have been fine with that, like, for $15, but...
They don't work like...
Nah, I'm good. Nah, 25. Nah, 30.
Nah,
30 for Trilogy by itself. That's probably what they would have done. I don't know, bro. Nobody's got that much nostalgia for Mortal Kombat, though. That's the thing. Like, you throwing numbers out here like $50, like people are that nostalgic. Who's nostalgic for that shit? What fucking Gen Alpha kid, or this new generation that's coming out, which will eventually be our kids, our generation's kids, Gen Zers kids, Generation Beta? You know what I mean? What the fuck? Like, Generation Beta, what the fuck? You think they honestly gonna have nostalgia for Mortal Kombat? To justify $50 to pay that much? Nah, bro.
I mean, they got all these, like, dumb movies. Ball
Yeah. Yeah, I have Trilogy on I have it physical. I have the PS1 version of it. The disc.
So,
With like the green thing where it says greatest hits. But yeah, I don't know, bro. I just don't see...
so that, yeah, like you're saying the movie, what happens to the MK2? Like,
I don't really care. The MK2 movie looks like shit. That's the thing too, is like you have all these movies in development like Batman Part 2 and shit like that. And it's like, do I really even care what happens to him? Probably not.
You got Chrome Dome, Mr. Clean,
Do I care what happens to Mortal Kombat 2, the movie? No. Jade looks like shit.
Baraka. Like,
But that's the thing either way. I mean, that's gonna happen no matter what. Even if Universal and Paramount buy them up, there's gonna be a shift. There's gonna be a change. Somebody's gonna go, well, we're getting rid of this. We're cutting funding to this. Because you got all this shit that's like a work in progress. Who's funding all that? You know, you got these movies where they got these big ass budgets.
who owns
Yeah. What? Who owns what?
Who owns Matt Reeves' back?
Versus the bird, now it's the plane. Can't be both, Jim.
Mike WB owns it.
I don't know. I don't really care for
Mike WB owns anything Batman.
either than making a two-series.
I'm trying to see what... Let me look up what else WB actually fucking owns, aside from Looney Tunes, Harry Potter... Oh, Lord of the Rings, too. People are talking like all the fucking fantasy freaks are talking about, oh my god, Lord of the Rings, ugh. Dude, they already shit all over that franchise with the Amazon show, Rings of Power, so...
Lord of the Rings is dead, bro.
People out here bitching about the Shadow of Mordor games. You're gonna get rid of the Nemesis system? Again. When was the last time they did anything with those games? When was the last time they did anything with the fucking Shadow of Mordor series? So,
Don't you have those?
yeah, I have those. Yeah, the Shadow of Mordor games. Yeah, those are really good. Those are better than Gollum. Don't play Gollum. Gollum is dog shit. I think Gollum's even in those games. Go play fucking Lego Lord of the Rings over Gollum, bro. Yeah, so they own DC, DC Studios, DC Comics, DC Studios, Cartoon Network, the Discovery Channel. I could give two fucks what happens to the Discovery Channel. Food Network, I could give two shits about. They own TNT, TBS, CNN. Like, yeah. Yo, they own CNN. Holy shit. Oh, man, rest in peace. That's why everybody's mad. That's why everybody's pissed. You won't have them fucking legacy media news outlets anymore. Streaming services like HBO Max, HBO. Yeah. Woke up this morning, got yourself a gun. That just means Sopranos will just go from HBO to fucking Netflix. It's
Then you'll be able to watch
same
it.
shit. Like, I don't...
Then you'll be able to watch it.
Yeah, but if it's better to just own it. Because if it's a show you like rewatching multiple times, why the fuck would you want a streaming service for it?
Up in the club.
Got yourself a gun. Shh, shh. Up in the club. Up in the club. Up in the Netflix. Yeah, but I don't know. Half that shit I could give two fucks about, like Food Network. I don't care. Fucking Discovery Channel. Who fucking cares? They don't put anything educational on there, anyways.
Wait, what is
They're like, save the trees, save the trees. It's like, you're a fucking Hollywood actor. You got fucking billions of dollars. Why don't you save the trees? I'm a fucking broke ass motherfucker. I ain't got a pot to piss in. I can't even afford the new Lego Batman game. Why don't you save the trees? What the fuck? What do I need to save the trees for? Why don't you stop cutting shit down and building fucking multi-complexes? That's the thing. I ain't some big rig that fucking mows down forests and shit and builds shopping malls and shit like that. I don't control the environment. You people do. Ah, you fix it. It's your fuck up. I still see you. Save the polar bears, like Mr. Freeze said.
Yeah, you see how they go. He's a problem. Wait. They both go flying into
Alright, yeah, I don't know if I'll even be back, but, this will probably be ended by then, so. But, yeah, peace. Take it easy. They'll probably be back by then, but yeah. Yeah, for sure, yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna go insane, don't worry about it. All that shit, I mean... sanity went out the window a long time ago, but yeah. Oh, shit. Yeah, no, I just use it as fuel, pretty much, so that's all that matters. You gotta use the shit, otherwise... you will go insane, so. But yes, yeah, stay safe out there, man. It's a fucking war zone out there. Be careful. Yeah, facts. But you wanted to talk about the, what'd you want to talk about earlier? You were saying something earlier. So who do you think Scarlo is going to be playing? Not Scarlo, ScarJo. Who's she going to be playing in Batman Part 2 if it even gets released? She's not going to play Catwoman. That's Zoe Kravitz's fucking role.
I don't know. Maybe like...
Why would she play Catwoman? That'd be stupid. Then there'd be like two Catwomans, though. I really, to be honest, I don't think Matt Reeves has the balls to do Phantasm, but I could be wrong. Huh? Yeah, but he said he doesn't want to do no fantastical characters. He doesn't want to do supernatural characters, so... Matt Reeves isn't going to watch this, so... He's not going to do that. That's the thing, Mike. But Mike, he may not even do a Robin. So, like...
So why do I care about this universe?
You don't have to. I didn't say you had to. I'm not putting a gun to your head and saying give a shit about this universe.
Look at Batman's costume in Arkham Knight. It's literally all gray. What do you...
Batman's learning how to drive. I don't know, bro. I mean, look, my thing is they're leaning more towards that, I think he's leaning more towards that, whatever the hell that chick was, that Vicky Vale becomes in the Telltale series, the, whatever the hell her name was, the Miss Lady Arkham or whatever, because his universe has that connection where Bruce is a part of the Arkham family, like his mother was an Arkham, so like I think they're gonna connect it to that. I think we're gonna get like an Arkham Which, if that's the case, like, Reeves should just honestly do Arkham, like, Arkham City for the final movie, if that's the case. If you're gonna make this the Arkham trilogy, and Bruce is gonna have, like, connections to, like, the Arkhams and stuff, and there's gonna be, like, Arkham stuff in it, and it's gonna be like Arkham, too much Arkham, saying that, too much tongue twisty shit. But if, take that, Freeze. Take that, Batmobile. But if that's the case, if it's gonna be an Arkham centric movies trilogy, then I would just do Arkham City for, like, the final movie, where, like, everybody breaks out of Arkham Asylum and, like, all the people he put away, they take over Gotham. So there you go. Up in the club.
Like, I'm tired. By himself.
You mean, doesn't he have kids, period? Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, look, at this point, we could go on about this, and we could discuss it for days. I mean, I could discuss it for fucking forever, but the problem is that whether it's Netflix buying it, whether it's whoever buys it, at the end of the day, somebody needs to take a look at all this shit and go, stop. What are we doing? Why do we have two different Batmen on screen at the same time? What's going on here? Like, somebody needs to check themselves before they wreck themselves at these studios, because, like, it's gonna end up like Star Wars at some point, or Marvel, where it doesn't matter who owns it. At the end of the day, it ends up becoming a shit show, because you've got these corporations that don't know what to do with these IPs, and it's just a jumble mess where you're like,
you got Red Hulk fighting Captain America.
yeah, but I mean, like, we can't do this anymore. You can't have multiple Batman. You can't have, well, you can, but, like, can you do it without fucking it up, is what I'm saying. Can you do it where, like, but if you're gonna do, like, a comic book accurate Batman, can you do it right?
Not for us to work.
Or are we just gonna keep getting the same stupid shit where it's like, I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing realistic Batman. I'm tired of seeing these, well, this is my take on Batman, and this is my take. Why don't you just do what's on the fucking page? How about that? Why don't you just do what's on the panels? Because unless you do that shit, we're never gonna get live action Killer Croc. We're never gonna get live action Clayface. We're never gonna get live action Poison Ivy again. We're never gonna get live action Mr. Freeze. You know, Batman SubZero made me realize, like, Batman has complex, relatable characters where, like, he doesn't need to dress in all armor. He doesn't need to dress in all black. It doesn't need to look realistic for it to be dark or realistic. It doesn't need to have a look. There doesn't need to be a certain look. You know what I'm saying? Like, these characters don't need to look this way to be this way. You know what I'm saying? Is that I found that this Batman, the way he looked in that movie, had no impact on the way he acted as a character. You know what I mean? Like, he wore, like, the classic costume, but his character was relatable in that movie. He acted the way Batman acted in that movie. He was a detective. He was, you know, selfless. He was, you know, I don't need. I don't get it. I don't get it.
So my kids are gonna get the good stuff. I'll have to listen to, hey, yo, man, Mr. Stock.
Your kids are gonna get the good stuff? When, though? That's the thing, is, like, I don't know if our kids are even gonna get to experience this shit either. I don't know when in my lifetime, if ever.
Yo, man, Mr. Stock.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna get a live-action Batman close to the source material. Oh! That's right, Kevin.
You know there's a mod where it puts these in Arkham Knight?
Oh, yeah? What, the Legos?
No. This.
Oh, the skins?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my main problem with Arkham Knight. They should have just gave us the animated series skins again, but whatever. But, I don't know. Am I ever gonna get something close to the comics? Am I ever gonna get something close to the animated series? Look, I don't know, to be honest with you. You would think after, like, a certain point, after so many years of my existence, eventually, yes, they would. Am I gonna live to see that day? I don't know. Are my kids gonna get to see it? I don't know.
Keaton was all black, but he still had, I mean, not one.
Yeah, but also the Batman costume looked like a Batman costume. The Batmobile looked like a Batmobile. There was a Batcave. You know?
I don't think Pattinson has a Batcave.
There may have even been an Arkham Asylum, but I don't know. Have to go back and watch those movies.
I don't think Pattinson has a Batcave.
No, he's got a train station.
Bale had a Batcave.
I don't know. I want stuff to be something in line with something from the comic books or the animated series universe, but I don't know, I just feel like it doesn't matter who the fuck owns it, doesn't matter if it's Netflix, it doesn't matter if it's Paramount, if it's whatever. I don't think we're ever really gonna get, I could be wrong, but I don't think we're ever really gonna get a live action version of this character where he's completely page for screen. I just don't. Without some executive stepping in and going, hey, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, or some idiot director, producer, actor, screenwriter going, well, we can do it, but there needs to be some kind of a message behind it. It's like, no, I don't want that shit, man. You know? I don't want no message. I don't want... This thing shoot shit out of it? I guess so. I don't need a message, I don't need a, ulterior motive as to why we created it. I just want somebody who's a fan of the shit to give us the shit the way it should be given. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's like, look at what fans can do with stuff. Look at what fans are able to do with stuff. Why can't we get that stuff? You know what I mean? Why can't we? I don't understand what the big deal is. Why is it so hard for somebody to be a fan of something, to finally be able to step into the creator's shoes and make something for the fans? You know what I mean? And I guess that's what James Gunn is to an extent, somewhat. Is like he considers himself somewhat of a fan. But at the end of the day, though, it's like, I don't know. That's the thing, is like, you being a fan, that remains to be seen, because can you deliver to where shit doesn't look, where like all your shit looks the same? Because like all the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, they look the same. And even the SS Squad movie that he made looks like a fucking Guardians of the Galaxy movie. So I mean, you know, I don't know, man. It's hard to put it all the pressure on one person. Yeah, I mean, it's hard for me to give like James Gunn all that pressure and go, look, James, if you don't give me this, there's going to be consequences. Like, James may not want to do what I want to see. You know, same thing with Zack. He sure as fuck ain't going to want to do what I want to see. He doesn't. Zack does his own thing. He does what he thinks Batman is. I am fucking Dark Knight Returns. Yeah, Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns. Batman with guns. Batman with guns. So, Batman, you know, I want to see Batman kill. I want to see Batman get, you know, fuck. I want to see Batman get fucked in prison. What? You know, I don't know, bro. It's like, yeah, pulls out the strat. I don't know. It's same thing with Nolan. I'm gonna go, oh, when the Nolan movies were coming out, you know, all these people putting all this pressure and shit, but you got what you got, whether they liked it or not. You know, we're gonna continue to, it's gonna be the same thing in the future. You're gonna get what you're gonna get, and you're gonna like it or not. Is it gonna be close to the comics? Who the fuck knows? You know, it all depends whoever the person who's in charge of all this creative stuff, it's up to them. You know what I mean? It's up to them. Am I ever gonna get the blue and gray? Probably not. Am I ever gonna get a costume that looks somewhat like this? Probably not. Am I ever gonna get the yellow oval symbol back? Probably not. And that's something I have to just accept. Whether Netflix buys it, whether Paramount buys it, whether Universal buys it, I have to accept the outcome either way and be okay with it. Because if I don't, I'm gonna have a stroke. And you know, the blood pressure is gonna be through the roof. So you can't, but that's the thing, is I can't let this shit affect me. I can't let this shit consume me, because I don't care anymore. It's the same thing with Lucasfilm and Star Wars and Disney. I just don't care anymore. You know, I don't have it in me to give a shit about future Star Wars projects, because they're not going to be good. I know they're not going to be good. Star Wars hasn't been good since the original 6. Star Wars died when George Lucas signed that contract. When he sold that soul, that was that, bro. That was it.
Now George is, I don't even want it.
Yeah, and look at now he's like, I don't even care. Yeah, I'm building a museum.
Lock that away. I'll buy it back. I'll lock it away.
So, bro, people move on. People stop caring. You know, at some point when you start to lose interest. I mean, dude, look, I'll always love Batman as a character. You know, I always loved the cartoon, I always loved the comic books. Like I said, in the beginning of the video, there's a back catalog. Like this movie that we watched. There's a back catalog that you can go back and watch. You know. So, I mean, you don't, like the new shit, you don't have to consume it. You know, like these new games, like the new Lego game. Do you have to play it? And no, you don't. You know, do you want to? Okay. But, like, who's going to buy a PS5 to play that? Who's going to pay $80 for that game just to play a $80 Lego game? Who's going to, you know, that's the thing, is like, it's all up to you as a person. you can choose whether or not you consume this stuff and stuff like that. So I got to a point where I just was like, there's only so much I can consume, so I gotta control what I consume. It's like everything else. It's like eating shit and food and, you know what I mean? You gonna pig out and eat fucking crap every day? No. So you pick and choose what you want to consume. You pick and choose what you want to, whether it's video games, movies, TV. TV, you pick what show you really want to get invested in. Movies, you pick a movie that you think is going to be good and you go and see it, and that's that. But everybody else, but the thing is, not everybody's going to think that what you think is good is good. Like I said, my favorite are the Burton movies, the Keaton movies. Not everybody can agree with that. Those are not everybody's favorite. You know? That's not my problem. Those are my favorite. I know that. You know, a lot of people prefer the Nolan movies. Those aren't my favorite. You know, even though I grew up with them, that was the Batman when I was a kid, but other than Batman Begins, none of them are the character of Batman, really. You know? Affleck's, at that point I dropped off and didn't care. Like 2015, I wasn't really a kid anymore. I was kind of like focused on other shit in 2015, so I didn't give a shit about Affleck's Batman. Pattinson, you know, I'm an adult now, so I'm like, but I'm also like, okay, cool, realistic, gritty, dark, you know, filthy, but like, do I need him to look like this for this to be this way? I don't need Batman to be emo for the characters to be dark and the story to be deep and the, you know what I mean? Yeah.
He just looks like some...
I could get... That's the thing people don't realize, is that you can get a dark-ass, deep, complex, psychologically fucking, like, just screws with your head movie with him wearing a costume like this. With Mr. Freeze looking like this. Like, you can get something... It's not about the look. It's about the story. It's not necessarily about the tone. And you can easily make a fucking psychologically crazy, batshit driven film where like the characters are solid as fuck and they're relatable and they don't even have to look like realistic. You can make them look like this. That was the whole point of the fucking movie we watched last night. That was the whole point of SubZero. It was like, okay, yeah, it's a cartoon. Yes, it's an animation. Yes.
It's a cartoon.
It's, you know, whatever. It's cheesy or whatever. It's, whether it's, you don't like the costumes, you don't like the way the characters look or whatever. I don't know. But to me, that's what Batman is that era, that style, that, you know, that's the way he should be, is like the animated series version, but I don't know.
And like,
that's why I say to you, right, we'll get back to that, but that's why I say to you, like, when Zach says they're gods and shit like that, they're not fucking gods. They're just people in costumes at the end of the day.
Superman.
They don't need to be gods.
Superman's an alien.
So,
On another planet.
I don't know.
Yeah, making Superman dark. Why can't it be like the star?
It's just, I don't know. Tired of talking about it. To be honest, I'm burnt out. But, no, you can't. But I don't know what more to say. I mean, whether Netflix buys it or doesn't, it doesn't matter, because it's going to have to come from whoever the hell is in charge of the character. whoever's in charge of the characters going forward, that's who's going to determine what the tone and what stuff like that's going to be. So
So you can glide in this speed. You need
where's the Batcave entrance? Sure.
same thing with Spider-Man.
Yeah, I don't know. I lost faith in like Marvel and Star Wars and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. That's probably what could end up happening to DC too. It's like you can't really invest in these things anymore. You can't really you can't get too wrapped up in it. You can enjoy the shit that's there and adore and love the stuff that's there and appreciate the stuff that's there, but outside of that, I mean,
Also, people are just tired.
yeah, I don't know. I think people just want to see different shit. I think people are tired of the same shit.
Same 3D Batman. Same road.
I think, yeah, I don't think people want to see. Oh, that's the shit Batboat. Oh, this Batboat looks like crap. Couldn't have put the other one, like the one from the Mr. Freeze Aquaman set, or like Arctic Batman. Why are we using this one? This one looks like crap. Yeah, I don't like this Batboat. It's stupid. Yeah, that's... Nah. There's no antenna. He doesn't need a satellite. I don't know. But what would you rank the movie we watched last night? Yeah, out of 10, what would you rank it? Yeah, that's where I'm at. I think Batman SubZero was a phenomenal animated movie, phenomenal Batman movie. And for it being an animated cartoon movie, it did have a deep and complex story. It had characters that you could relate with, it had characters that you could feel for, like Freeze. Like I said, Freeze is top 5 Batman villains because you can understand where he's coming from. I mean, so doesn't he come back though? Like, so at the end of this movie, at the end of SubZero, he's like, okay, Nora was fixed and everything like that, and now I'm gonna disappear. But then when he finds out she dies, because spoilers, she's cured and then she gets an organ transplant, but then I guess she dies. So in the New Adventures, he comes back after her death. And then in Batman Beyond, he pretty much is... He outlives her, I guess. He outlives everybody. And he's frozen in, like, cryo sleep or some shit. And then he's like a head. Like, he's like a talking head. Then he dies in Batman Beyond. So, yeah, he's got like an ongoing arc in the animated series universe. But, nah, yeah, 9 out of 10. Story was phenomenal. Characters were phenomenal. I don't think you can turn the T-Rex on. I don't know. Nah, you can't. But yeah, it was back. Yeah, back when WB actually gave a shit about animation and movies were good and cartoons were cartoons and you know, this had like the this gave me like Iron Giant animation vibes, kind of like the 3D mixed with the 2D and stuff. That was kind of what they gave me the vibes of. But I don't know, will Scarlett Johansson be playing Phantasm in the next Batman movie? Probably not. Probably gonna be a completely new, it's probably gonna be some dark stupid character like Lady Arkham or some stupid shit like that, some lesser known serial killer-esque character that, you know, Matt Reeves wants to do. So it's either going to be that, or it's going to be, she's going to be some chick that's a part of the Court of Owls watch. That's what I'm leaning more towards. People are saying, oh, she's going to be Phantasm, she's going to be... Nah, I don't think so. This universe, the Matt Reeves universe, is too dark for it to be Phantasm. So for me, it would be... It's too filthy. It's like too realistic. And Phantasm's a little more fantastical because she's like fucking Spectre, kind of. I think you're either gonna see... You're gonna see Lady Arkham, and it's gonna connect to Bruce Wayne's family because his mom was an Arkham. Something like that. Or she's gonna be some chick that is a part of the Court of Owls. Like, because there was a chick in one of the animated movies that he dated who was also rich, and she was also a part of like a wealthy family in Gotham, and then she turned out to be like a member of the Court of Owls and shit. So I don't know, I'm leaning more towards that. You're more likely either gonna see Lady Arkham or Court of Owls before you see Phantasm. I could be fucking wrong, but I really don't think Matt Reeves is that ballsy. But again, I could be wrong. But I don't know. I just, to me, the tone of the universe that Pattinson's Batman's in and shit, it just doesn't fit. So, and as for the Netflix Warner Brother thing, that could take a whole year to get settled. That's not final. That's just Netflix outbidded everybody. It's basically like eBay bids, where like people bid on eBay, and whoever gets the max bid wins the fucking item. The thing is, though, is that in order for you to win the item, even on eBay, after you win the item, you still have to have... Your card has to be charged. Has to go through shippings and customs. So, it's the same thing with this. Netflix may have outbidded everybody, may have outbidded Paramount, may have outbidded Universal, but at the same time, they also have to go through the government, and they have to get this thing passed, and it has to go through a lot of like politicians, Congress, stuff like that. So, you know, and it could affect the economy in a big way. This is something where you could see a dip in the economy, because Netflix doesn't focus on things like games, physical media, stuff like that. Is you won't be seeing DVD releases anymore. It'll just go straight to streaming. So, same thing with theatrical releases. You won't be seeing movie theater releases. You won't be seeing a lot of these things. Well, I'm a 10. What shoe size are you? Yeah, but that's the thing, is that if we're not actually there trying the shoe on, it's not gonna fit, because boots and shit have a different sizing scale compared to like sneakers and shit. Like a boot 10 is actually a 7.5 compared to like a sneaker being a 7.5. That's not a sneaker would just be a 10. Like your regular you have to go from heel to toe. So if I'm a 10 from heel to toe on a sneaker, that would work, but on a fucking boot it's like a 7.5. So I'm gonna text her that. But she may not be looking at shoes, she may be looking at socks. But, I don't know, it may not even be that cold up there, I don't know. It may not even snow, so I don't even know, bro. It's probably just gonna be fucking just like spring. But, yeah, I don't know, like the Netflix thing, that's gotta go through a lot of customs. And before they can finalize that purchase, it's got to be heavily looked at by the government. Because like I said, back in the 1900s and the 1920s when Hollywood was created, you know, because that's when Hollywood was created. Before the 1900s, there was really no Hollywood. Like back in the Wild West days, they didn't have movies. There was no Hollywood back then. California was a fucking gold mine. That was it. So Hollywood didn't become a thing till like the 1920s. Back in the black and white picture days where it was just like no sound and shit like that. So I mean, but back in that day when Hollywood was created, there was a thing where like the government was like, in order for studios to maintain their status and money and, you know, in order for them to make profit, they have to put out quality content. You know, if you want to stay in business, you have to put out quality content. You have to constantly be bringing in the big bucks. And if your studio doesn't do that, well, your studio closes or it gets consumed by another studio. So that's the thing. It's how it's always been since the 1920s or whatever. So it is what it is. Nothing you can do about it. So I don't understand why people are getting bent out of shape over it. All these actors who act like they're historically educated and shit, act like they know what they're talking about. They really don't. Your job's on the line now, and now you're bitching and complaining. Wah! Tough shit. Now you don't like it, huh? Now you don't like being the little man. When you realize you don't have that much of a cult power-like reach, now it affects you. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I think there's going to be a lot of war going on with this deal. I think that it's not final. And I think that now that you're getting both right and left, liberals and conservatives are bitching about this thing, I think you're going to see this deal's it's going to get pretty messy. It's going to get pretty ugly. I think you're going to see Paramount is going to go, yo, what the fuck? We didn't get looked at. What the fuck? Like, we want a second deal. Like, what the fuck? We want a second bidding. I think you're going to see, like, I think you're going to see the Trump administration get involved, too. I think you're going to see, like, you're going to see it's going to get political, watch. It's going to get very political, and it's going to be hilarious because you're going to see the people who've been bitching and literally complaining about who the president is. Now they're going to be at his whim, and they're basically going to have to go beg for help, pretty much. You know, as a guy who's a blue collar, normal, everyday citizen in America, this doesn't affect me. Because I'm not an actor. I'm not a voice actor. I don't work for WB. I don't get paid to do this video. I'm not getting sponsored. I don't get backed by WB. They don't send me shit in the mail. They don't go, hey man, hey Nick, here's the new Lego Batman game. Here's a PS5 to go with it, just for fucking fun, just for shits and giggles, because you like Batman and you support our shit. I don't get sponsorship. So this doesn't affect me. I don't care. What happens to WB? It's not my problem. It's out of my hands. You know what I mean? So. But the fact that people actually think that, like, you know, whoever, like, whether it's actors, whatever, the fact that you think that, like, just because you have an opinion, it matters. No. Yeah, I got an opinion too. It don't matter. Doesn't mean everybody's gonna agree. You know, just because you think Netflix shouldn't consume Warner Brothers, that don't matter. Doesn't matter. Whoever's making the money, that's all that matters. Whoever's paying the rent at the end of the day with these studios, that's all that matters. Right? You know what I mean? Okay, you may not want Netflix to consume Warner Brothers. Don't matter. If they're paying the rent for Warner Brothers, you are going to deal with it. You're going to shut up and like it. That's how it is. That's how it is. What are you going to do? You're going to turn down roles now? You say, I'm not doing that. Oh, you need your money to be able to afford your house in Hollywood Hills. You don't have a choice. You have a choice. You go with the flow. So, you know, you don't have the fight. You don't have the freedom to just go, well, I'm not going to accept Warner Brother movies now. Okay. You just locked yourself out of a bunch of career opportunities. So, I mean, it's the same shit for an everyday regular class American that goes, well, I'm not going to go to college or I'm not going to go to trade school. All right, well, you just locked yourself out of a bunch of jobs. Right? Now you're just going to have to accept mediocre shit. And it's the same fucking shit with these studios. You want a paycheck, you want to continue to make movies, you want to continue to act, and, you know, you want to continue to have a platform so you can fucking bitch about equality and all this other bullshit and talk about all this other crap. Race, skin color, sexual orientation, whatever the fuck, even though none of this matters. This shit was all solved at a certain point. I thought we solved this shit back in the 1960s during the civil rights movement, but whatever. People still want to bitch about shit that's not there. I don't understand it, but whatever. But that's the thing, is like, you know, you want a platform and you want all this, but now that, like, you know, someone else is paying the rent, you don't like it. Because that person who's paying the rent may not agree with your opinion. It's literally no different than living under a roof with somebody who pays the bills. Your bills. That's like me going, well, I don't agree with the shit my parents say. Yeah, I don't. Sometimes I don't agree with the opinions that I share with my parents. We don't always see eye to eye, right? We don't always agree on things. We love each other. We care about each other. We unconditionally, no matter what. But we're not always going to agree on the same shit. We're not always going to have the same opinions. We're not all robots. We're not all the same. But that's like me going, well, I don't like the way you guys do things. They're going to go, yeah, that's nice. Move out. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. Like, you don't agree? Okay. But, like, we pay your rent, kid. What are you going to do? Move out. You don't like it so much. You know what I mean? So, it's like, that's like, but it's the same thing if I had a kid, right? If I had kids and they said, well, Dad, I don't like the way you did it. Okay, move the fuck out. Motherfucker, I paid the fucking rent, right? I paid the bills. I support your ass. I put food in your mouth. I clothe you. Make sure you have clothes. Right? I take care of you. Make sure you have a nice bed to sleep in. You're my offspring. I take care of you. But if you don't like it, get the fuck out! You know what I'm saying? So, like, these actors where they're like, I don't like this. I don't like this. Bro, they feed your ass, right? WB, Netflix. They give you a fucking paycheck no matter what. They feed your ass. Put food in your mouth. Give you a nice little house. Move out. You don't like it, you know? Go fucking create your own studio then, Mark Ruffalo. You want a solo Hulk movie, Mark Ruffalo? Go create your own studio then and buy it from Universal. Buy the rights of Hulk from Universal if you want. If you don't want Netflix buying WB so bad. You know what I mean? Whatever. You want to continue your little HBO series that you got going on? That's really not that great, but whatever. Go create your own fucking studio. You know? I don't see what the fuck the big deal is here. If these people got all this money, they got all this financial backing, what are you bitching about? What are you bitching about? Accept the paycheck, shut up and put up. You know what I'm saying? It's just at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's not, and I'm tired of it being all political and shit. This stuff, this is gonna get political now. Yeah, sure. Because everybody's got to always make it political. Funny how it takes something like this for both parties to come together, though. That's what blows my mind. It's like I was talking about earlier. It's not the end of the world, the fucking aliens invading, world hunger, disease, famine. It's Warner Brothers being sold to Netflix that gets people going, maybe we should come together on this instead of shit that actually matters. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's what humans are. They're dumb, they're petty, they're fucking stupid. So, and I've never been on either, like, I've never said, like, you know, I've said here in the past that, like, I'm tired of the victim mindset. I'm tired of people making things about this. I'm tired. Look, I'm not right or left. I'm not political. I don't want to be political. I'm tired. I don't like talking about politics on this channel. I like talking about shit that I like. I like making these videos about comic books and movies. And this fucking video was supposed to be about us talking about Batman SubZero, and it turned into the fucking whole Netflix WB debacle. You know, sometimes I don't even want to talk about this shit. Because it's like, I'm not on either side. I'm just the guy in the middle, like, bro, can I get good, bad? I'm like that, like, that kid in, like, when you're in an abusive... it's kind of a fucked up thing, but, like, kids that are in, like, an abusive family, and, like, you got both parents, like, fucking bickering left and right, and you're just, like, the kid in the middle, like, fucking, I just want good Batman content. Basically, that's what it is. That's basically like what it is. It's like you're in a fucked up family, and you're like, bro, I just want good Batman shit, and they're like, blah, 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 going to war and shit. You're fucking racist. You're a Nazi. You're this. You're that. You're fucking. It's like, bro, what the fuck? Can't we just get good shit? Why does it have to be political? Oh, shit. Alright. 15. It's a big box.
Exit now. R, stay.
No, Bob. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Put this out in the...
Disarm.
Bob, right it on. Stinky souls. Hey, Mike, come here. Mike,
What?
Mike, come on. Get your ass out of here. I need help. Hey, dickhead, come on. What are you, deaf? Grab that. Yes. Put it in the room. Okay. Yeah. Lit. Lit. Put it on the floor.
It is on the floor.
Alright, leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it. Alright. Everything's locked.
Mm-hmm.
Door's locked.
R, stay.
Mhm.
Exit now.
Everything's locked. Well, except the gate. I have to lock the gate when they come back. I did not know he was already going to be coming. That was fast.
Oh.
Huh?
Oh.
Who?
Oh.
That guy.
Whoa. Take it easy.
Whoa.
Whoa. Take it easy. Take it easy. Do it with the wife. Do it with the wipers.
What the hell?
Sounds like it.
R, stay.
Alright, we're probably gonna end it, guys. So, peace out. Have a good one. Take it easy. Batman SubZero final review. 9 out of 10.
On, bro.
It's not? Yeah, it is. Batman SubZero, 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, great movie. Fantastic. Have a good one. Peace out. Take it easy. Stay healthy, stay happy, stay sane. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys. Sayonara.